Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so today we are diving into some seriously fascinating evidence that is completely upending everything we thought we knew about the history of the ancient Amazon and South America. If you think this continent's story is just about untouched jungles and the Inca, well, prepare to have your perspective entirely shifted by the sheer scale of what's been hiding right beneath the canopy. Let's just kick things off with a massive question, one that is currently turning the entire archaeological world upside down. What if the dense Amazon wasn't just home to isolated primitive tribes, but sprawling, highly advanced civilizations capable of literally terraforming entire mountains? It's a staggering thought, right? For generations, the narrative has been quite simple, but the stones they left behind are telling us a very different story. You know, we so often anchor our view of South American history on the mighty Inca or the later Spanish conquerors. That's kind of our traditional anchor point. But this massive, far older megalithic evidence is forcing us to completely abandon the myth of an untouched, wild jungle in favor of a new, proven reality. We're looking at a highly engineered continent. All right, Section 1. Carved mountains and holy wakas. Let's get right into it. Our journey starts at the literal bedrock of this mystery over in the Bolivian Andes at a site called El Forte. Now, this place is like a living layer cake of history. It didn't start with the Inca. It actually started way back around 300 BC with the pre-Incan Chane people. These original builders did the incredible heavy lifting, carving a bustling city right out of a single colossal mountain. Then, in the 1470s, the Inca swooped in to expand it. And finally, the Spanish took over in the 1570s. So we have three entirely different civilizations, all leaving their distinct mark on one single mountain. The absolute heart of this site is this colossal rock, and the scale here is just staggering. We're talking 720 feet long and 200 feet wide. The Chane people use this massive saddlestone essentially as a giant blank canvas, completely covering it in an intricate network of geometric patterns, animal carvings, walls, and alcoves. It is without a doubt one of the most incredible works of ancient art in South America, created over 2,000 years ago. Now, because the tool marks on this colossal stone are so perfectly geometric, there's even the super level plateau that some folks actually call the UFO runway. People frequently claim this has to be the work of ancient lasers. But hey, trust me on this. Aliens do not need humans carving primitive rock landing strips for them. The actual truth of ancient human ingenuity is far, far more fascinating than science fiction. Okay, let's head over to Peru to explore another marvel called Kenko. This is an underground, subterranean amphitheater that the Inca referred to as a waka. Simply put, a waka is a holy place or a sacred monument. Kenko is kind of like an iceberg. You see a little bit of the structure on top, but the vast bulk of its complex galleries and massive chambers is hidden entirely underground, wrapped up in total mystery. Deep inside these subterranean chambers of Cuenco, archaeologists found something pretty intense. They found these zigzagging canals carved directly into the solid rock. These were designed specifically for fluids, mostly for either llama blood or chicha. Chicha is a fermented corn drink that was heavily used in ancient ceremonies to help priests get intoxicated enough to commune with their gods. It's a very dark, cramped space where mummifications and sacrifices actually took place, which really reveals the intense spiritual dedication of these ancient people, and how brilliantly they manipulated the earth for their deepest religious purposes. Moving on to Section 2, Tying the Sun in Stone. So, having absolutely mastered the earth, these builders turned their focus to tracking the sky. Way up at the famous Machu Picchu sits the Intihuatana. That name translates roughly to the hitching post of the sun. This is a towering 6-foot-tall granite solar clock hewn right from the mountain itself. It was precision engineered by ancient priests to track celestial events. In fact, it tracked the equinoxes on March 21st and September 21st so precisely that it cast absolutely no shadow at noon. They literally believed they were tying the sun god to the earth with an invisible cord. And this empire's architectural and religious reach was simply immense. I mean, we just explored underground wakas in Peru and sculpted mountains down in Bolivia. But their influence stretched thousands of miles north into Ecuador at a site called Ingapirca. Down there, they built these giant, hybrid sun temples to merge their culture with the conquered locals. The sheer geographical spread of these monumental building projects is just staggering to think about. Which brings us to Section 3, Stone Guardians and Mysterious Maps. The mystery really escalates when we look outside the standard timelines at artifacts whose actual purpose has been completely lost to time. Take the Sehoide monolith in Peru, for example. This isn't a building, it's a single giant boulder meticulously engraved with over 200 incredibly precise designs. We're talking hyper-detailed carvings of reptiles, frogs, ponds, tunnels, and entire flowing rivers, all mapped out on one massive rock by a completely unknown creator. And there is this intense, ongoing debate over the stone's true function. Scholars have literally stared at this thing for years. Was it a functional 3D topographical map for ancient Incan engineers to test out water flow? Or maybe it was a grand conceptual model of the universe? Or purely a ritualistic object for the water goddess Mamacocha? We honestly don't know. But its sheer complexity proves they had a highly advanced understanding of both art and engineering. Meanwhile, over in San Agustin, Colombia, the mystery deepens even further. Here, an entirely unknown society, who we today just kind of refer to as the sculptor people, carved roughly 600 imposing volcanic rock statues. And these aren't simple blocks either. They are incredibly detailed figures of anthropomorphic birds, crocodiles, and fierce twin-headed deities. And the scale of these figures is breathtaking. These stone guardians, some of them standing an immense 23 feet tall, literally dwarfing a modern human, served as protectors for the largest city of the dead on Earth. This civilization thrived from the 1st to the 9th centuries, undergoing a massive 800-year building boom, before the builders mysteriously vanished without a trace, leaving their giant sentinels behind to watch over their tombs forever. Alright, final part. Section 4. The Amazon Revelation. All of these astonishing, widely distributed sites ultimately lead us to a massive revelation hiding deep within the dense Brazilian jungle, the Amazonian Stonehenge. This is a religious ceremonial circle that was built roughly 1,000 years ago. It consists of 27 towering granite blocks, each 12 feet tall, perfectly arranged in a 30-foot circle. This definitively proves that 500 years before Europeans even arrived, the deep Amazon was already home to an organized civilization fully capable of moving and erecting massive stone monuments. Furthermore, this wasn't just some isolated anomaly. Recent LiDAR scans, which, if you don't know, use advanced lasers to literally peer right through the dense jungle canopy, they confirm that prehistoric Amazonians were out there terraforming the jungle. They were ripping up trees, plowing hills, and building sprawling, highly structured communities, complete with fortified settlements and massive agricultural fields. The jungle has been hiding an ancient, engineered world this whole time. So, the absolutely crucial takeaway here is that the old paradigm of an empty, primitive Amazon, yeah, that's completely dead. The proven reality is a thriving, interconnected, terraformed landscape of epic monuments and sprawling cities. It absolutely forces us to completely reevaluate how ancient humans interacted with the world's most famous rainforest. Which leaves us with the ultimate, unsolved cliffhanger. Looking at the staggering scale, the precise astronomy, and the vast interconnectedness of these ancient creations across thousands of miles, who exactly were they communicating with? And what did they ultimately hope to achieve by reshaping the Earth itself? It's a question that's going to keep us exploring for decades to come. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and always keep questioning what you know.